Hello and welcome to another X-Wing video on this Fox Squadron channel. Yeah, so it's been a while since I've uploaded an X-Wing video, either a review of a pack. It's been a while since X-Wing's got new packs though, so I think that's okay. But a while since a battle report. Currently all the guys at my game store that like Star Wars gaming are playing Legion because they just got into it, or Shatterpoint because that just came out. So in between, I don't think X-Wing might not happen for a while. I do know two friends that play that game that haven't been introduced to the other miniature games, so maybe I message them and see if they're up for it. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. But for now, since it's been such a long time that I've done an X-Wing video, I am going to review the recent points update that AMG has dropped for the game. It's pretty interesting. My first reaction was that I should totally make a video on this because all of the pilots have really weird points now. So weird, in fact, that before I looked at the upgrades, I was like, the game is broken with a couple of these guys, and a couple of these guys are not changed. But once I looked at the points for the upgrades, it made a whole lot more sense. So yeah, we're gonna look at the upgrades first because they're a little bit less dramatic, and because even the more dramatic ones are easier to understand when you start looking at the pilots. But if you look at the pilots first, it won't make any sense because you don't know the upgrades have changed. So yeah, right off the bat, as you guys saw earlier, Darth Vader went from 14 points to 12. This is because the loadout value on a lot of ships that can carry him got reduced. So they still want you to play Vader, but I think with the Grand Inquisitor, they increased him by 2 points because they probably don't want you to play him. I'm not exactly sure, because Grand Inquisitor gives you an action if you reveal a white maneuver. I believe it's a red action, if I remember correctly. Vader, on the other hand, of course, does a damage or they remove a green token. So, I don't know. Vader going down in price, I think, is a bit weird. He's just a very good card in general, so I don't know why he would go down lower than 14. Grand Inquisitor, I guess there was a really good list with him, so this is a little bit confusing to me, but I don't think it matters too much. It's a 2 points down and a 2 points up, so it's not going to matter too much. Just a little bit. Okay, so Death Troopers went from 6 points to 4, so that's good. They definitely need that to be put on the table a little bit more. Imperials Super Commando team has actually gone up to 8 points from 7, so they're a little bit good, but they're not good enough to warrant like a full 3-4 point update, which I guess is cool. Just give them 1 point, you know. They got their eye on them, but they're not wanting to nerf them, which I guess is cool. Tiber Saxon has also gone up by 2 points, so that means he's doing a little bit better than what they expected. But to be honest, his ability pairs really nicely with the new TIRB pilot flight leader Ubil, because he can carry a gunner. He shoots at initiative 5, and then lower initiatives get the strain tokens from Tiber Saxon's ability. So overall, that's a really good combo. So I guess they're trying to crack down on it a little bit, which is very cool. I'm cool with that if it's a combo that's like that. And of course the titles haven't seen any changes. For the Rebels, also slight changes for some crew members. C-3PO's gone from 5 points to 7. So Rebel players have started playing him a bit more and seeing some good success, which is great. Jurnoso's gone up from 5 to 7, so that focus to evade is becoming a lot better. Maul's gone from 10 to 12, so pretty much all most of these cards, C-3PO, Jin, and Maul, are older cards that have been reduced, so the players played them more. But it looks like the players are playing them and finding a lot of success, so they're having to kind of, you know, stop that a little bit, I guess. Now, the most interesting change is Fen Rao. He originally was 4 points, but now he's 7. I believe his ability is when you destroy an enemy ship, each friendly ship at range 1 and 2, that destroyed ship, or you, the ship that destroyed the enemy ship, removes red or orange tokens. I guess on the surface that sounds okay, but not great. I guess maybe Rebels are using it to remove disarm tokens when they use R2 Astromech to recover sheep. Well, that's but yeah, I guess they could be removing disarm tokens from like reloading torpedoes maybe on Y-wings, or reloading from bombs and then ion cannon turning and dropping bombs next turn. Yeah, I guess there could be a lot of combos that make Fen Rao really good. Just removing the orange tokens removes those disarms, so that might be the reason why he's gone up, which would make sense. And the Clan Rank Commando team is obviously 8 points. We're going to see that across all the Mandalorian teams. Ezra Bridger, I believe, went down from 12 points to 9, so that's pretty cool. I believe he's only a little bit better than Bistan as well, so that's better to see that. Selfless, I believe, has gone from 2 points to 4 now. So they're cracking down on that. So some pilot or group of pilots was using that card effectively. So someone won a game with that talent, so they're nerfing it. Okay. And Night Brother is the title modification for the Gauntlet Fighter. That is now 0 points. I didn't even know it costed points before, so I guess that's cool. All right, and then for Scum and Villainy, Forlom is now 8 points. I believe he was originally 4, so someone won very well with him to have that big a nerf, or he's just been overperforming. Fenrau is also 7 points here. Ahsoka Tano is 10. I believe she was originally 9, so they're trying to not nerf it, but not keep it as too good. Gamut Key is now 8 points. I believe he was 6, so they're, you know, just managing that one as well. Prime Minister Almec, I believe, was 6 points, or was he 8? I forget exactly. Either way, it's like a 1 point down or 1 point up. Not super eventful, but eventful enough, I guess, for certain lists. And then Mandalorian Super Commando Team's 8 points, of course. Zuckuss is 6 points, which I believe is a 3-point increase. He went from, what, 3 points to 6 now? Or was it 4 to 6? I don't know. He got increased by a little bit, though. So the Forlom Zuckuss combo someone was using, I bet it was probably the Mandalorian and the Razor Crest or a similar pilot like that. And they're just, you know, chopping it down, which is all good. And then, yeah, of course, the Night Brother title is free here as well. First Order's got some interesting stuff. So Snoke, even though he's banned from standard, he did get a points reduction for extended. Now he's only 10 points, which I believe is a 3 points decrease or a 1 point decrease. I don't know. Kind of funny. The biggest change is Special Forces Gunner is now 0 points. So Special Forces TIE Fighters pay nothing to put it on them, which is really good, really strong. But you are going to see their loadouts are going to be really, really low. So I'm assuming they probably First Order Ordnance Tech with like a missile was proving to be too good on them, so they just want you to put Special Forces Gunner on them, and then like a 3 or 5 point upgrade. That's not a missile with the First Order Ordnance Tech. So yeah, I guess it's cool in one world, and in the world where they were using different upgrades, not great. Fanatical's also been increased by 1 point, so now it's 2 points again, which makes sense. It is a bit of a good upgrade to use. Another interesting change is Detrium power cells went from 8 points to 6. I guess First Order pilots are using shield upgrade more, which I definitely was on TIE Fighters. I find it better not to lose a turn of shooting, and yeah, I find it better to use shield upgrade because I don't lose a turn of shooting, and their survivability is about the same. Now you could recover a shield and then gain a stress token to remove the disarm, but that doesn't pair well with pilots like Scorch, who gain stress tokens like attacking, so he's always going to be stressed, so he's not going to be able to use either his ability or this ability. And yeah, shield upgrade's just not as much of a sketchy investment because you may never be able to recover your shield. You may die in 1 turn of combat, so that 8 point upgrade really didn't do you that much, whereas a shield upgrade might keep you alive. So without spending the disarm token in next turn to recover a shield. So yeah, I don't know. Better that it's less points now, I think. So that's cool. Okay, for the Resistance, BB-8 is 5 points and BB Astromech is 4. Decreasing the Christ, which I think is good. I forgot what their points were originally. I think it was 7 and 8 or 6 and 8. I don't know. So good decrease. They're good, but they need a bit of decrease. Excellent is Wartime loadout only being 2 points now. That is great for the Y-Wings. Definitely should cost something to put on, but not that much. I think 2 points is probably perfect, maybe, depending on the loadout values. Maybe 1 point. I don't know. That's really cool, though. I like that. Leia Organa has 14 points, though. I believe that's a decrease, but I'm not sure. I think it's a decrease. I think she was originally 16. Maybe she went down to 12, though, and they increased her again. I don't know. She's 14 points now, though. And Rey, I believe, used to be 12 points. Now she's 10, so she's gone down a little bit. And I think for her ability, that's pretty fair. She just gives you an extra hit or an evade. Well, not an extra. She changes one of your dice, so it's an auto change. For the Republic, the R7A7 astromech is 5 points. I don't know what he does, so I'm gonna assume that's good. Q7 astromech is the one that lets you move and barrel roll onto or through obstacles, so 1 point for that astromech now. I think we're gonna see Republic ships do a little bit of crazy stuff. Maybe, I don't know, I think they have better astromech options, but that's cool. Alpha 38 Besh for the V-Wing is the upgrade that gives them the extra bomb, and they spin their target lock to change one of their dice to a hit. That is now 1 point. It went from 0 points to 1 point. I think that's good. I think every player in their right mind would pick that one above Alpha 3E-esque, which is the one that does ions, but you gotta roll crits. It doesn't give you crits to your roll, you have to just roll them. So yeah, 1 point for Besh is more than fair. Ayla Secura went down from 14 points to 12, which is cool. I think when she hits 10, players will be more tempted to put her on the table. She's really good, just really expensive. Ahsoka Tano here is also 10 points. Night Owl Commando Team is 8 points, and no other changes to crew, which is cool. They seem pretty good where they are. Okay, big change here. 7th Fleet Gunner is now 13 points. That is a 5-point increase from 8 points, which doesn't matter a whole lot. I'm pretty sure most of the ships that used him had a loadout of like 15 plus. I do know the arcs have lost a lot of their loadout points though, so I think 7 fleets can only be run on like the most expensive arcs and like gunships at this point. So that's a bit sad for 7th Fleet. Dedicated's also gone from 1 point to 3, which is really a lot of points. It is a really strong upgrade, but I think 3 points is a lot to pay for it. So I think right now the main ships that use it are Z95 Headhunters, and their loadouts are already so stretched that, like, yeah, I don't know. I think on a Z95, I think 2 points would be better, but I understand that with their loadouts being 8 points, they'd probably take like a 5-point missile, a 1-point synchronized console, and then like the 1-point dedicated or the 2-point dedicated. So making it 3 points does make them choose between synchronized or dedicated, or a cheaper, less effective missile. So yeah, it's good that it's this high for game for like balancing reasons for the Z95s, but it does seem weird that it tripled its price. That's okay though. Gauntlet, of course, is 0 points here as well. Separatist Alliance, Count Dooku went from 14 points to 12 points, wanting him to put him back on the table. Grievous went from, I believe, 4 points to 6, so they're kind of stopping that little bit of that damage cancellation, because that's what Grievous does. Deathwatch Commando Team's 8 points. Discord missiles are now 2 points instead of 3 points, which doesn't matter a whole lot. Pretty much all the ships that had a 3-point loadout that wanted to equip Discord still have 3-point loadouts, so you're just gonna kind of throw a useless 1-point modification or 1-point talent on them now, which is not bad. I guess marksmanship is good, but I don't know. It's a little bit silly to me, but I guess it works. Impervium plating on the Belbulab Starfighter though is now 2 points. It got increased from 0 to 2, so I guess Belbulabs have been doing pretty well. Independent calculations is now 2 points. So obviously with the amount of Separatist ships, they're trying to reduce the like one-off Separatist ships that can just get double calculate and still benefit, not from network calculations at that point, but just, I don't know, benefit themselves, I guess. Okay, biggest change for Separatists is that pretty much all the tactical droids have changed their prices somewhat dramatically. K2B4, I believe, is the one that you spin to calculate, and either they add an evade to their roll or you gain a strain token. He went from 6 points to 4, which is cool. Kalani and TV94, who's at the bottom, they went from 5 points to 3 points, which I think is great. Their abilities are good, but they're very situational. Kraken went from 10 points to 8 points. I'm not sure how about that's pretty good too. And TA175, 175. He's now 6 points. I believe he was originally 8 points before this points update, but to be honest, he's been changing points a lot. I think when he originally came out, he was like 9, then he went up to 11, then he went up to 10, then he went to 9, then he went back to 8, and I guess now he's 6. So he's 6 points now. And Treacherous has gone up by 1 point. It went from 2 points to 3, which makes sense. The new Vulture Droid pilots can use this upgrade. And essentially it was like, what, energy cell charges, treacherous, and munitions failsafe. So now it's just treacherous, energy cell charges, because munitions failsafe isn't that necessary. And gauntlet 0 points as well. Okay, generic upgrades. These are the most exciting and probably the meat and potatoes of this section of the video. Well, not the meat and potatoes, but the meat and potatoes of the whole entire upgrades. So as you can see off the bat, R3 astromech and R4 astromech, the most used astromechs, have both gone down to their original prices before a points update that I think that happened like a year ago. R3 is the one that lets you acquire 2 locks on 2 different ships. He went from 4 points to 3 points, and the R4 astromech, which decreases your 1 and 2 basic speed maneuvers, is now 2 points. This is because, like with most of these upgrades, a lot of their ships have reduced loadout values now. So they want to keep you with the astromechs, but they don't want to keep you with the other upgrades. Okay, cannons have some pretty interesting changes. So heavy laser cannon is now from 4 points to 5, which is cool, I guess. Jamming beam is no longer free. It is now 1 point, which I guess makes sense for double shot, TIE defenders, and B-wings. They can't token strip for free and then shoot you. They have to actually pay a point for that now. Tractor beam, also the double shoot strategy. It is now 6 points instead of 4 points, which I think is interesting because now it's competing with ion cannon. So that'll be interesting to see. And synced laser cannons has actually gone down from 8 points to 6. So I don't know if ion cannon's been outperforming, or if synced lasers, they were kind of just like, let's reduce it because why not? I don't know why that change happened, but it's a cool change because I think ion cannon is pretty much equal to synced, so I guess that's good. Okay, Hondo Onaka is now 8 points from 6, so the whole coordinate, give one ship an action, the other ship gets jammed is now a little bit more expensive to use, which I guess is cool. I guess he was overperforming, so I guess that makes sense. Okay, and extreme maneuvers has gone from 5 points to 8. This is a pretty good card for force users, so that makes sense. Hate has gone up from 4 points to 5. Hate's been going all over the place with points, though. I think it was originally 3, and then it was 4. Then it was 4 for small ships, 8 for medium, and like 9 for large ships. And now it's just 5 for everyone. So that's cool. Agile gunner is now only 1 point, which is really good. This is the gunner that just rotates your turret at the end of your turn at the end of the round for free. So I believe he was 2 points. Now he's just 1. So if you have 1 point, yep, free turret rotates. Oh, he was 3 points. Sorry. So he's even cheaper. Okay, that's kind of scary. We'll see how that goes. Veteran tail gunner is now 5 points. He's one that lets you shoot once in the front, shoot once in the back. He went from 2 points to 5, so a 3 point increase, which I think is good. Veteran turret gunner is now 3 points again. This is the guy that makes you shoot again with your turret, I believe, into a different ship, or is it the same ship? I forget. But yeah, I'm not sure about that. There's a reason why he was 10 points, so him only being 3 points again is kind of interesting. We'll see how well that goes. Okay, cloaking device for the illicit is now 8 points. That's a 5 point increase from its original 3, so that's been doing really well. Tracking fobs have gone down by 1 point, so they're 3 points now, which is cool. I think that works really well. False transponder codes went from 2 points to 5, which makes sense. It was a really good upgrade for negating alpha strike lists, so you gotta pay a little bit more for that protection now. Rig cargo chute went down from 4 points to 3, so okay, decent. Barrage rockets is now 6 points, down from 8, which is actually really interesting. Especially for TIE bombers. I believe right now there's only like 3 pilots that can even use barrage rockets, but it's cool that they get more point options. Yeah, so I guess that's cool. Yeah, that's actually really cool. I never expected that change. Okay, afterburners are now 8 points instead of 10, which I think is good. And Beskar reinforced plating and Mandalorian optics both used to be 5. Well, no, Beskar plating used to be 6 points. Now it's 3. And Mandalorian optics used to be 5, and now it's 3, which I think is really good for Mandalorian fighters. Those upgrades were pretty expensive. You kind of wanted both of them. So I'm glad that they're more affordable now because they kind of are the upgrades the Mandalorian fighters need to be effective. So yeah, they get those now. And drop seat bay is now 5 points, which is a 4 point increase. It's the one that changes your device slots on the Gauntlet Fighter to crew slots. So I guess triple crew party buses aren't that fun to play against, or have just been overperforming, so this is their way of nerfing that. 5 points is a lot, but if it was that good, then I guess it makes sense. I don't know, we'll see. Bombs, proton bombs has gone up by 1 point, which is interesting. I'm not sure if it's outperforming concussion bombs, but I guess it is if it's going to get increased by 1 point. And proximity mines has gone from 8 points to 10, which makes sense. A lot of ships that were introduced in the last pack are very like fragile, like the Seven Sister, TIE Interceptor, and stuff like, and Vulture droids. Proximity mines loves doing 3 damage, so 3 damage to 3 health ships is insta kills. So, and it's a pretty large token, so that makes sense. It's 10 points now. Okay, so so the next section is the system upgrades, which haven't changed that much, and then the EPT upgrades, which have had a massive overhaul. Not an overhaul, but a lot of pretty interesting changes. So yeah, we'll see. Not even like that bad, I guess. I don't know, we'll see. You judge in the comments if it's that major or not. Anyways, collision detector, 7 points, 1 point increase, that's fine. Trajectory simulator has gone down by 2 points for extended players because it's still banned in standard, which is cool. Okay, clan training for the Mandalorians is the upgrade that lets them perform a red focus at the start of engagement phase. That is now only 1 point, which I am behind because they need that buff. Lone Wolf is now 3 points, which is good because it's a really hard upgrade to trigger now with just how many ships, how many friendly ships you can have in a list. I believe the minimum right now is 4, just if you do like good list building, and you can have like 5 super easily, especially after this points update. So only being 3 points is good because it's just going to be super hard to trigger now. Composure is now banned in standard, which I guess is the fix so Composure's had an interesting history where it's been like, what, you use a pilot's free boost action like Taichosa Chulu or Snap Wexley into like an asteroid or an enemy ship, and they can't complete the boost, so they get a free focus. Then they do their action where they target lock. The errata on the first card prevented Snap from doing it, but the new Taichosa Chulu could because he target locks, then does the red boost into an asteroid or a ship, and he can't complete it, so he takes a focus because he can perform red actions even while he's stressed. And the errata of Composure, which is where you can't perform any more actions during activation, doesn't trigger because that was his last action. So now it's just banned, which I guess I'm okay with. It is the card that's supposed to be really nice for beginners, but it is one of those cards that, like in 1.0, could just be used in really effective scenarios. So banned, I guess, makes sense, just to kind of have Taicho not have his way. Crackshot is now 4 points instead of 3 points, which is a 1 point increase, which is pretty cool, I guess. If you're taking Crackshot with other EPTs on double EPT ships, you definitely won't be able to anymore. For ships that already had enough loadout value to take the extra point, then this won't matter, but for ships that had exactly 3 points, they can't take this anymore, which we'll see those ships, and we'll see why it's good that it's 4 points now. Daredevil went from 2 points to 5 points. This is in retaliation of, I guess, aces using this, kind of like extreme maneuvers. Cool buff, I guess. A bit, I don't know. Extreme maneuvers makes a bit more sense to me because force users. Daredevil, the only pilots I can think of that were honestly using it were the First Order Interceptor pilots, and maybe like some pilots that could use prime thrusters. So yeah, and I think only 4 points, but 5 works. It's not terrible. Debris Gambit, I believe, is only 4 points now. I think it went down from 6. They made it 6 points for some reason. I think they realized that it should only be 4. But now they have Elusive as 4 points. It went from 2 points to 4 points, which I don't think makes any sense. A lot of players have been taking it recently, but I don't think it's because it's a game changer, mainly because it's like, what else should I have? And it can certainly give you the extra evade, but even if it does, it doesn't change the game by a whole lot, in my experience playing against it. But If it was like winning a lot of tournaments or whatever, then yeah, makes sense. Juke is now 7 points again, so it went from 6 to 7, but at this point, I honestly think Juke is just always 7 points because how often it's been there. Notorious is now 7 points. I believe went from 5 to 7, so again, they're trying to just keep the upgrade out there because it is a really good upgrade. Predator is now 3 points, so it went from 2 points to 3 points. So you can see that they're pretty much nerfing Crack, Shot, and Predator. So aces can't use both of them in tandem as much anymore with a third upgrade, or that generics, instead of using Crack Shot, now they just have Predator, I guess. And then Saturation Level is only 2 points, which I can get behind because it's a very iffy upgrade to use on your missiles because it reduces the number you can use, but you get to reroll your opponent's defense dice. Okay, the last talent upgrade that got changed is Typharion Belly Run. It is now 1 point, which I don't know. I feel like at 0 points it was better because with the changes to obstacles, they're a lot more harmful for Y-Wings to fly on, and I believe Typharion Belly Run only works on asteroids, and it doesn't ignore the effects, so you're still taking damage from going onto it. 2 damage, maybe 1, and you're getting to launch one of your secondary weapons for free, attack with it, so a turret or a torpedo. And while enemy ships shoot you, getting an extra bonus defense die for the obstruction of the attack, and they can't reroll attack dice. Yeah, it sounds like a 0 point upgrade to me because you're losing your action, you're taking damage, but you may not take as much damage, but then next turn going off the asteroid, you're going to take more damage. So yeah, at 1 point, maybe it was overperforming. It was just annoying to have it on the Y-Wing, so 1 point, I guess, it's okay. I don't think it's that bad. Advanced Proton Torpedoes has gone from 8 points to 9 points. Pretty sure a couple pilots were overusing it at their 8-point loadout value, so that's why that happened, which is fine with me. Pilots that have super expensive loadouts that can use it or can still use it, and pilots that maybe shouldn't can't use it. I guess that means Sabine Wren might not be able to use it with Fearlessness anymore, which works. I guess now she can use clan training, I guess, because it's only 1 point, so I don't know if that fixes the problem. And next up we have Plasma Torpedoes, the last upgrade card. It is now only 5 points, which is really, really good. That is very strong. So it's only gone down by 2 points, went from 7 to 5, but that's a pretty big decrease, sorry, because a lot of ships that can use torpedoes either have so many points they're just going to use proton, or they have so few points that using plasma torpedoes takes up their entire loadout value at 7. At 5 points, they still have like 3 or 4 points left to the loadout value. So like Z95s now can use this with 3 more points, so they're not stuck to using just concussion missiles to get extra upgrades like synchronized console. Now they can just use plasma, which is gonna be really strong. It may give them the edge they need though, because they definitely did struggle in the Alpha Strike meta, so now they can kind of have their own Alpha Strike against shielded ships. And yeah, I don't know, it's really good. Yeah, I don't know, that's just really good. I don't know if they should have honestly done that. There's just gonna be so many more plasma torpedoes in the game. I think shield upgrade is completely devalued with that, so Detrium power cells for first order is now the better option. Yeah, I don't know, that seems really sketchy to me, to be honest, but we'll see how that works out. It's not too much of a decrease, but it pretty much is going to be picked over 90% of all the missiles just because it does more damage. So yeah, I don't know if that was a good call, because a lot of ships that right now want to take plasma torpedoes can also take missiles, so they're only going to take plasma now. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Chief. We'll see how that one goes. Anyways, my overall thoughts with the upgrades though, most of the faction specific upgrades aren't that bad. I think the biggest changes are obviously First Order, Separatists. Most of the other factions just had some slight balancing, so overall good. Plasma torpedoes is a bit crazy. EPTs were a little bit interesting to slightly crazy, and other crazy stuff going on. But anyways, let's jump into the pilots because it'll make a lot of sense now that we jump into them. So Starting off, we see the Alpha class Starwings. Even though they're not allowed in Standard, they're still getting some points decreases, which is good. Not the generics though, there's still 5 squad points, which is unfortunate. I really think they should only be 4 each, but just have a lower loadout so they can't take sync laser cannons on 5 NUs, or, well, I guess now you can take plasma torpedoes on 4 RHOs, so that doesn't even matter. But yeah, Major Lieutenant Kursabi at 5 squad points, it's just a bit expensive. He's basically an RHO pilot with higher points, a slightly better loadout bar with the extra missile, and an ability. The ability is okay. I don't know, 5 squad points, kind of okay, but I feel like I'm just gonna pay for someone else, like Major Vinder. Major Vinder at 5 squad points, I'm totally can get behind. When she has a disarm token, she rolls an extra defense die. She has an upgrade that lets her shoot while she's disarmed. That's obviously perfect. Put fire control system on her, she rerolls the die. So at 16 points, proton torpedoes, fire control system, or plasma torpedo, lone wolf, fire control system, and an extra 6 points of upgrades. Yeah. So plasma torpedoes might be the option just to get the extra rerolls, but yeah, no, that seems pretty good. At 5 points, I wish she was in Standard, but I can still play Extended. That's fine. That's fine. For the Gauntlet Fighter, there's 1 point less pretty much to all the pilots. So Captain Hark is only 6. I believe he was 7. Gar Saxon, it went from whatever price he was, probably at like... Oh no, Captain Hark was 7, he went down to 6. Gar Saxon, Imperials... Gar Saxon went from 8 to 7. The Imperial Super Commando is still the same amount of points at 7, but I believe his loadout was either increased or decreased, because now it's just 10 points. I never really flew against the gauntlets that much, so I don't... Or flew, like, playing them, so I didn't know exactly what their loadouts were, but I'm gonna assume the Imperial Super Commando was reduced in loadout value, and that Gar and Captain Hark were reduced in squad loadout, in squad point cost. So overall, pretty good change. No change for the Lambda shuttles. TIE Advanced V1, which is the Inquisitor's TIE, 7 Sisters now 4 points, Grand Inquisitors 5, Fifth Brothers 4. I believe their loadout values have also been decreased to represent that. So 7 Sisters 6 points, Fifth Brothers 7, Grand Inquisitor 10. I like this change a lot. 5th and 7th are probably going to be played a lot more because they're cheaper. I think they were too expensive at where they were. And I don't know where Grand Inquisitor was, but he's definitely on the table now. So that's good. We also got the new points for the standardized cards coming in the new starter core packs that are coming out with the game. I believe they're core packs for just a specific faction. So Darth Vader in that core pack, he's going to be 6 squad points with the standard loadout value. So not better than the Darth Vader you can just put the upgrades onto. So cool. Yeah, I guess that's cool. Okay, Merrick's delay with the standardized loadout from that pack as well is also going to be 5 squad points, and his base version where you can give him upgrades is going to be 4 points. So that's interesting. That means that I guess they have a better upgrade card set for him in the standardized version. So that's going to be interesting to see. And Zarek Strom, I believe he got increased loadout value, because he has now 14 points. I don't think he had that before. So that's interesting. I don't know what you're gonna do with 14 points on him. I guess what, proton rockets, and yeah, I don't know, like, because you can't do proton and shield. So yeah, I don't know. That's interesting, but I'm not sure what that's gonna do for him. Probably, he kind of needs 16 points. Anyways, big change for the TIE Reaper pilot, Captain Furoff. He's still 4 squad points, but now he only has 6 points to his loadout value, when I believe he had like 11 or 13. So they're doing a little bit of a nerf to the 5 TIE Reapers squad, which I guess is good. Yeah, so that's cool. Actually, the first time I looked through this points list, I actually misread it and thought they decreased Major Vermil to 4 squad points, which would have been insane. But no, it looks like they're targeting the 5 TIE Reaper list, so That's good. If that list is still performing. No changes for the aggressors and the Punisher. Darth Vader and the TIE/D Defender lost 4 points to his loadout. So he went from 14 to 10. I guess he's still overperforming a little bit, I guess. I don't know. So next up we have the TIE Interceptors. Lots of changes here actually. So Iden Versio for the Battle of Yavin got decreased from 6 squad points to 5. Gideon Hask from 5 squad points to 4. And his loadout value went from 14 to 7. Lieutenant Laurer went down to 3 squad points from 4. And Sienna Ree got from 12 loadout to 14. So just talking about these pilots first, because other TIE Interceptor pilots have been changed and they're going to have their little segment later. Overall, I think this is good. More points for Sienna Ree doesn't really matter, but that's okay. In hindsight of the new point changes, it's actually good because she gets Disciplined, Crack Shot, and Shield Upgrade, or Predator, another 3-point EPT, or just Disciplined, and Shield Upgrade. So her loadout, her upgrade card set doesn't change, which is good, because she was alright how she was before. A good 6 initiative, well, not a great pilot ability, but 6 initiative. So Gideon Hask only being 4 squad points is good, because even though he is the 5 dice TIE Interceptor, he is a TIE Interceptor that has 4 initiative, so he could die before even launching those 5 dice. So good to see he's cheaper now. You can probably fit him into more lists where he could do better and get that shot off. And he's only got 7 points though, so he's not like overpowered. I guess Predator and Crack Shot, just to like max out the damage, could be interesting. Iden Versio got decreased to 5 points, which I think is good. I honestly still don't understand why players think she's good. She does have the damage cancellation ability, and when she's damaged, she gets an eyeball to a hit, but in my world, she's a 4 health, 4 initiative TIE Interceptor, so I'm not exactly sure what the appeal is for her. But I understand a lot of players think she's good. My friend that plays this game super competitively really likes her, so in light of that, I'm gonna say that's a good change for the competitive community that wants to play her a lot more. And that she's good, and maybe that's a little bit overpowered. I don't know. Anyways, Lieutenant Lore only being 3 squad points I think is great. He's a cool TIE Interceptor pilot, but he's more cool than he is good, so, you know, I guess now there's a bit more, like, you can play him now because he's super cheap, and you're not losing 4 points playing this really cool pilot that is not that he's good, he's just not that great because he doesn't have as high of initiative. So anyways, let's not go on a rant about him. Soontar Fell and Vault Scarce are the other 2 interceptors that have been changed. Bigger change is Soontar Fell. He went from 6 squad points to 5. And I think that speaks volumes. His loadout value, however, and this is the interesting part, is now 10 points, which I believe went from 12 to 10. And with the upgrade card changes, this actually matters quite a bit, because I believe before you could take Predator Shield Upgrade and another 2-point EPT. Now you can't even take Predator and Shield Upgrade, because Shield Upgrade is still 8 points, and Predator is 3 points now, which adds to 11, which is 1 point more than 10. So either you're investing in an extra point of health and taking another 2-point EPT, Disciplined, or Ion Limiter Override, or you're taking Crack Shot, Predator, and targeting computers. So you're either going full into the fragile, super good ace mode, or gonna go for the survivability, but not gonna have quite a good EPT to kind of, you know, add it out. I would say with the decrease in Plasma Torpedoes price, the abundance of it that we're gonna see on the table means that you probably just want to go Soontar Fell without Shield Upgrade, because 1 hit for a Plasma Torpedo takes away your shield and then does 1 damage, whereas 1 hit if you have no shields is just 1 damage. So yeah, I think you're better off in the situation just not taking Shield Upgrade, but we'll see. Anyways, Vault Scarce, he went from, I believe, 6-point loadout to 9, which is cool. More points is great. I guess Shield Upgrade and a 1-point EPT, or there's no 9-point EPT. I guess Snapshot, I don't know, that's weird. Because oh yeah, they took away one of his EPT slots. Okay, that's why it's weird. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, I don't really like that. I think they should have left both EPT slots on him. Just giving him the extra points, but that's okay. I don't know. I don't think anyone really cares about Wool anyways. Night Beast, from the new pack that's coming out, the new Empire starter, is 3 squad points, so he's just as good as Night Beast with 4. So I guess that's cool. Del Miko Inverno 3 got the cannon slot. I believe he got his missile slot replaced with the cannon, and I don't know if he was at 10 loadout value or had more. He's got 10 loadout value now. Gideon Hask went up to 12 points loadout value and got an extra EPT slot, I believe. So a slight buff. I'm not sure exactly why. I think he was the TIE fighter everyone picked at 3 squad points, but sure. Iden Versio, Inferno Leader, there's 2 copies over here. I'm pretty sure the first copy that has that's just blank here. Pretty sure that's the one coming from the starter pack. So the standardized version, I just think that was a misprint. The 8-point version though is now 4 points as well, so when you put her with Hall Runner and what, 6 other TIE fighters, it's now just going to be those 2, because I think before you could take Iden, another 3-point TIE fighter, and then 5 2-point TIE fighters and Hall Runner. Now it's just Iden, Hall Runner, and a bunch of 2-point TIE fighters, which I think is better, more balanced. I think that will be better for the game. And Moff Gideon is now 4 points as well. Went back up to 4 from 3. So I guess he's been doing good too. Sienna Morana's got a 12-point loadout value now. I think she went from 8 to or whatever her loadout value was. Really, all you need to put on her is cracked marksmanship. But I guess now you can add on a cannon and shield up. I don't know. That seems like a lot of points to put into her. When really she just wants marksmanship, but I guess marksmanship, shield upgrade, jamming beam, I don't know. Kind of funny. Alright, anyways, and Valenroder also coming in the new core set with a standardized loadout. It's just, yeah, he's going to be 3 squad points, which is the same as he normally has. So, no big changes there. I guess the biggest one is the TIE Fighter Swarm got all the slight nerf, which is cool. And some of the TIE Fighters have more points now, which is weird, but that's okay. Biggest change in this section right here, there's actually a couple good changes you can see with the TIE Phantom and the TIE RB Heavy. TIE Phantom, both Whisper and Echo are now 5 squad points, so they went down in price. Whisper from 7 and Echo from 6, so that's a really good change. Juke is only 7 points, so you can still take Juke on both of them. You just can't take extra modifications, collision detector, and other upgrades that were nice, but you really didn't need. Really, all you need on them is Juke. So for extended, they're both going to be used a lot, which I really like. We haven't had the TIE Phantom in for a while, so it's good to see it finally back. The Sigma Squadron Ace is still 6 squad points though, so they definitely don't want you running that many of them, which I think is good. I think I'll totally just run Whisper for now. It's great to have her back. And Flight Leader Ubil's got a decreased loadout value. He went from 15 to 12. So basically, I think before you could take Synced, Tiber Saxon, and a 3-point EPT. Now it's just Tiber and the Synced Laser Cannon. Which I think were the best 2 upgrades to put on him anyways. So I think that works out for everyone. Rampage is now only 4 squad points. So that's cool because he is kind of just not that great. I think definitely Lieutenant Dree and Flight Leader Ubil were better than him. He's got 10 points. I don't know if that's a decrease. I think that is. So Sync Laser and a 4-point upgrade. Cool to see Rampage might be back in for 4 points. Yeah, probably. I think TIE RBs for 4 points are good, unless they're Ubil. Ubil's at 5 point is amazing. Okay, the TIE SA Bomber. A lot of changes. Some of these aren't highlighted, so we're just gonna go through each pilot. So the ones from the core set that are coming out, Captain Jonas, he's gonna be 4 squad points in his expansion pack with no, which is a standardized loadout, which is the same as his version with 4 squad points with an upgrade loadout. Major Reimer, wait, hang on, they might have actually misprinted this. Wait, hang on, okay. Okay, no, Major Reimer's standardized loadout value doesn't exist yet, or he doesn't exist at all. Anyways, Tomex Bren, his standardized loadout version is 5 points. It's a Tomex Bren coming in the new pack that with a standardized loadout, he has plasma torpedoes, an ion bomb, 2 EPTs, one of them has a lot of text, and his ability is where after he does a barrel roll, he assigns a focus to a ship, so essentially he gets focused target lock off the target lock to a red barrel roll linked action, which is really good. So 5 squad points makes sense. It is a bit hefty, but I'm assuming that EPT that has a lot of text is really good, because that would explain why he's 5 squad points. But anyways, the most exciting news is Deathfire, Major Rhymer, and Tomix Brenz's like versions where you can give them their own upgrades you want. The non-standardized versions are only 3 squad points now. So, that's really overpowered. I'm not sure how. I don't know how they decided that, because Rhymer still has enough points to put on a proton torpedo. So you could do proton torpedoes in range 1 through 3 have 4 dice, or plasma torpedoes now. Range 1 through 3 shield strip. Advanced proton torpedoes, range 1 to 2, 5 dice. Still 3 points for upgrades. Deathfire's got a really weird loadout bar, but be sure you could do something with him. I guess, I don't know. And Tomix Bren, 3 squad points, 10 points. Barrage Rocket's only 6 points now. Omelet Generators 2. Add on Disciplined or Feedback Ping with a Delayed Fuse modification. Yeah, I don't know. I think Major Rhymer and Tomix Bren at 3 squad points are just overpowered. That's really cheap for good ships. There's 6 hit points. They throw 3 dice. They drop bombs. Yeah, that's really good. I don't know, man. 2 bombers, Sunterfell, Scenery, another 4-point ship, Juno Eclipse, Rampage. Yeah, I don't know. I guess they'll pair really well with Flight Leader Oboe. I don't know. I think it's overpowered. But the other factions have overpowered stuff too, so I guess that evens it out. Okay, interesting change with all the TIE Striker pilots that are not generic. All the unique TIE Striker pilots have increased from... Hang on, sorry. Have increased their loadout values. So there's still 4 points, but they've all got increased loadouts. So I think Duchess went from 12 points to 18. Countdown from like 8 to 11. Pierce it back went up to 9. So you can finally take a shield upgrade. And Vagabond, I believe, went from something to 12. I don't remember what her points were, but overall, some pretty cool changes. Definitely makes me want to put Strikers on the table more, I guess. Countdowns, well, I got shield upgrade, Predator. Pierce the Backs got shield upgrade and a 1-point upgrade. I think on Countdown, shield upgrade will be alright because, you know, someone hits you with a plasma torpedo, you roll 1 evade. They're going to do 1 shield, 2 damage. You take 1 shield instead with his ability. So, I think that's really good. Duchess will be interesting to see how people outfit her if they put outmaneuver with a bomb. 5th Brother with a bomb, 2 EPTs with a bomb, or outmaneuver with another EPT like Predator, I guess. I don't know. There's going to be some interesting stuff happening with these TIE Strikers for sure. The last Imperial ship is Rear Admiral Trunaru, Advisor to Admiral Piet. He went from 8 points, 8 squad points to 7, and his loadout was dropped from, I believe, 26 to 20. So you can now have 2 decimators for 7 squad points. Kind of scary, to be honest, especially added up, they're 14 points. That's perfect. 6 more points. Let's add on Major Rhymer and Tomix Bren. So you've got 2 big decimators with honestly probably the best ship for escorting them, 2 bombers, because they can put out some pretty good damage. So yeah, double decimators is going to be really good now, I think, because yeah, that seems really good. Okay, moving on to the Rebels. The B-Wings have a lot of changes. So I believe Blade Squadron Veteran and Blue Squadron Pilot to generics, they're now only 4 squad points. The downside is they only have 4 loadout values, so I don't even think you can take a single cannon upgrade anymore. That's probably the reason why they upgraded the cannon slots. I guess you can take Jamming Beam. That seems kind of unfortunate for them, to be honest. Tendum still 5 squad points, and so is Braylon Stram, which makes sense. They're really good. Gianna Moonsong, I believe I'm saying that right. Yeah, Gianna Moonsong. She's 4 squad points now with 11 points loadout value, which is actually really good. Plasma torpedo with a bomb, or synced laser cannons for the double shot with a plasma torpedo or a 5-point bomb. So that'll be really good. Phoenix leader Harrison Dolo is only 5 squad points now, which is good. I think she was like 7, which is way too expensive. 14-point loadout value is more than enough to do what you want on her. That's great. Netrium Pulleyard, 4 squad points for 10 points. Synced lasers and a 4-point bomb, or a... Oh, she has a missile, so she can't even take blast torpedoes, so that's gonna be interesting for her to deal with. Overall, nice changes for the B-Wings. Definitely gonna see more of them at that 4-point loadout, by that 4-point cost. With Gianna, she's a what? With Gina. I guess that's how you spell Gina, I guess. Or maybe? No, I don't know. I forget exactly. I think Gina is Gena, so I don't know. I guess it still is Gina, I guess, because technically an I in that situation would be an A. I don't know. Let's stop going off that rant. 4 squad points for 5 initiative pilot, even if it passes you stress. Probably pretty good. Okay, Arc 170s, we're seeing the same thing. Everyone's down by 1 squad point, so Nora's 5, Shara, Iptizam, and Garvin Drives are all 4. Loadout values, of course, have all been severely decreased. Garvin's got 7 points, Iptizam's got 9, Shara's got 8, and Nora's got 8. So, interesting how people are going to go through that. Garvin Drives has a cannon slot, which is interesting. I didn't notice that. Looks like they all have just like EPT, Torpedo, Gunner, Astromech, Modification. Nora has an extra EPT. Shara has a missile. And it looks like Garvin also has a missile. Okay. I guess the big change is they all lost their crew slots, which is actually pretty interesting. So 4 squad points, but you can't take a crew member, which I guess is balanced. Don't want too many crews in the Rebel Alliance flying around. No changes for the Wookiee Gunship or the attack shuttle. Y-Wings got a lot of changes. A lot of changes. So in the Rebel core set, they're gonna Dutch, Hail Okan, and Harton Slam are... So Dutch is gonna be 4 points, Harton Slam is gonna be 4 points, and Hull Okand is gonna be 3 squad points, which is really interesting. They all have standardized loadouts. A Van Verlaine is now only 3 squad points for 8 loadout value, which I believe is ion cannon and seismic charges. So you destroy asteroids to do damage. And Horton Salam is 3 squad points as well with a 7-point loadout. So this isn't exactly as powerful as the TIE bombers because they don't really have enough points to actually use good upgrades. Like the bombers, they have more than enough to use blast torpedo or barrage rockets with bombs and stuff. These guys, I think, can barely fit a bomb in like a dorsal turret, so it's decent. 3 squad points though is not bad for a Y-Wing. Not sure if it's great though. And the rest of the Y-Wings are still the same, so are the K-Wings. The biggest and most happiest change that everyone's gonna love is that all the E-Wings are finally price affordable. That is right. Your E-Wings are now good, and so are the Fang Fighters, but we're just going to focus on E-Wings right now, because this is the bigger exciting news. So E-Wings have had a hard time for 2.0 since I think like the beginning. I think there was a moment where you could take 4 of them with fire control system, but now they are back. You can take 4 Rogue Squadron Escorts with proton torpedoes, or 4 Nave Squadron Escorts with proton torpedoes and fire control system. I'm going to take the Rogues over that. And you could have one of them be Garvin Darklighter with 18 points to his name. So you can take a proton torpedo and another 6 points of whatever of these fine slots you want. And Cornhorn's only 6 points now with 20-point loadout, which is great. I really like this change. Of course, they're still banned from standard, so you can't use them in tournaments. Of course, you can't have that much fun. AMG can't let us do that. But the fact that in extended they are back is just so good. It's kind of like similar to Major Vinder and the TIE Phantoms. It's just great to see them back, to be honest. I love that. Well, we'll see them just back in the game because they haven't been good since 1.0, so that's great. I love this change a lot. I really like it. So yeah, 4 E-Wings is going to be good because you can just take torpedoes, target lock you round 1, and then move in with a focus on you. But I think it's what E-Wings should be able to do because that's what E-Wings do. Fang Fighters are really good for Rebels now, so Fen Rao's only 5 squad points, which is good. He was overpriced where he was originally. He's only got 10 points to his name now, but that's more than fine. All the other Fang Fighter pilots are only 4 squad points, which is really good. Something similar we'll see for Scum, so be excited, Scum players. The Clan Rand Volunteers now have 12 points. I believe that's a points increase, or it's the same. Batakai Venge, 9 points. I forget if that's an increase or decrease. Dirk Udalin is 9 points, and I think definitely the symbols have been changed, because I remember one of these guys could only take missiles and modifications and EPTs, but it looks like they all can take torpedoes and modifications, and the Volunteer can take 1 EPT, you have to 2 of them, and then Benjikai, well, 2 Clan Rand Volunteers, they only have 1 EPT each though, and Batakai Venge can take 2 EPTs. Overall, good. Advanced proton torpedoes is 3 points, is 9 points now, so I think advanced with Predator or Predator, Mandalorian Optics, and Beskar Reinforced Plating, or Mandalorian Optics, Advanced Proton Torpedoes. There's some options with these guys now. At 4 squad points, I definitely think they're good. They compete with the B-Wing and the A-Wings and the Y-Wings, though. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Rebels deal with squad building now, especially after we see more pilots. Okay, so the clan loyalists for the Gauntlet Fighters, the same price. I believe a decreased loadout value. Ezra and Chopper are now cheaper at 6 points with higher loadouts. Not sure why the generic's still this high then. Oh, he's not generic, but I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. But I don't know. AMG really hates non-name pilots, so I guess that makes sense. And yeah, I think lower loadout values as well. For the H2WK fighter, it is available in standard. Okay, I didn't know that. I guess it still is in. I guess it's always been in standard. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so Kyle and Rourke Garnet are both 5 squad points, and they have loadout values, I think, that are cheaper, which is cool. Passing focuses, I think Jake does it better, so I don't think we'll see Kyle or Rourke Garnet at 5 to pass that 7 initiative is pretty cool, so definitely think we'll see that with squad tactics to get 2 7 initiative shots. For the Millennium Falcon, in the Rebel Core box, he's going to have his own standard loadout and be 7 squad points, which is similar to Han Solo at 7. Han now has 20 points. Not sure if that's... I think that's lower. Lando has 21. Pretty sure that's lower. And Leia has 24, which I think is also lower. Maybe it's a bit higher. It actually might be a bit higher on points. Yeah, it's actually probably higher. Which makes sense because they have been struggling. Yeah, it's probably higher because they've been struggling. Okay, for the RZ-1 A-Wing, quite a few changes. So... starting off with the core set pilots. The core set Arvel Crynite's gonna be 4 squad points, which is 1 more than he is if you give him upgrades. And he's gonna have standard loadout, which is really interesting. We'll see what he does. Jake Farrell is gonna be 5 squad points, which is 1 more than what he is currently. And he's also gonna have standard loadout value, which is really interesting. So it looks like they're gonna be making the new Jake and the new Arvel with standard loadouts better, which is gonna be interesting to see how they do that. Okay, so big changes. Harrison Doodle is only 4 squad points now with a 5-point loadout. It's kind of weird because she is an ace, so it's great that she's cheap, but her loadout value is too cheap to really do that much with her now. She can't take proton rockets. She can take Crackshot and Starboard Slash, or Predator and another 2-point APT. It's weird. And she's an A-Wing, so she kind of needs the rocket to do damage. It's gonna be weird. Jake got a buff though. He's now got 11-point loadout value, so proton rockets, which is really all he wants, with another 3-point upgrade. Really good. Sabine Wren got a bit of a nerf. She went from 11 points down to 7, so no more advanced proton torpedo, clan trading, or fearlessness shots. Very unfortunate. I believe because she's Mandalorian, she can take the Beskar. Wait. I'm pretty sure Beskar and Mandalorian Optics are reserved specifically for the Fang Fighter. Let me double check that real quick though. That would be... Because if she can take... Because if those are Mandalorian only, then she can take them on her A-Wing, and that would be kind of hilarious. I don't know if it probably wouldn't be that great, but it would be funny. And if it's funny, it might be good. Okay, come on, load up. Let's see here. Well, these are like... Oh, these are the old points. How did I get these ones? I hit previous. Okay, that's... my bad. Okay. Scrolling down. We don't want the previous upgrades, we want the new upgrades. Okay. Okay, that's Separatist. This is generic, I think. Going on a bit of a tangent here, but... Okay, it's Mandalorian. So you can take Beskar, Reinforced Plating, and Mandalorian Optics on Sabine Wren. If you want to be extra silly, because what is that? That's 6 points. You add on Fearlessness, you add on Clan Training for 7 points, because that's what her loadout value is. So I guess that's what they want you to do with Sabine. But that seems really excessive for an A-Wing. Like, if it takes a critical damage... Well, I guess if it takes critical damage, you discard it now. So you're not potentially getting one-shotted or severely damaged. So that's kind of silly that you can take both those upgrades, but I like it. That's funny. Sheriff Bay is also going to be in the core set apparently as well. She has a standardized loadout value, which is the same squad loadout as squad point cost as her normal 4 points. So 4 points or 4 points. So probably not going to be too big of a difference. Wedge Antilles in the A-Wing is now only 3 points with a 5-point loadout. So concussion missiles, that's going to be really good. I forget if his ability only works on primary or if it works with missiles. If it works with missiles, great. If it only works with primary, that's still alright. Just put Predator on him or Crack Shot to just get double advantage from it. At 3 points, I think that's actually pretty good because 1 less defense die is good, and that buffs his attack a little bit, and I think that's what he needs. That's what A-Wing's like, and at 3 squad points, I think it's really strong, so I think it's good. Okay, the Sheath of Pete class shuttle, interesting stuff. So Fenrau went from 4 squad points to 5. I think he's still retaining the same loadout value, so they don't like Fenrau. He is being used a lot, so I guess that makes sense. AP5 and Zeb are both 3 squad points now, and I believe their loadout value has also been reduced a little bit, which I don't think will help them at all to be played, because this loadout doesn't give me any support upgrades. I'm better off taking Wedge up here than either of these two, because they just don't give me that support. I guess AP5 does because he can coordinate to you even if you're stressed, but can't really do that much with 5 points, man. Come on, I gotta have more. Okay, X-Wings probably have a lot of changes, and like a lot of changes. Okay, so Corn Horn, he originally was 5 squad points with 18-point loadout value with a torpedo slot. Now he has 4 squad points, which is great, 9 loadout value, which is terrible, and his upgrade bar is now an EPT, a missile, an astromech, and a configuration slot. So they replaced the torpedo with a missile slot. Basically, that nerfs Corrin quite a bit. He is cheaper now, so he's still playable. He's just either take proton rockets and a 1-point EPT or R3 Astro and Swarm Tactics. So he's less of a damage piece, more of a support piece now that can still do some decent damage. I don't know, this really does affect him a lot, but we'll see just how much of it affects him. Okay, Jack Porkins from the core set, with the standardized loadout value, the Rebel core set is going to have 5 squad points, which is the same as a normal version. Luke Skywalker from the Rebel core set compared to his version from the generic core set, I guess is what we're calling it now. Same squad points, so I guess the loadout for him is going to be very similar to what you get for 24 points, which I actually think is a buff. I think Luke Skywalker originally had 22, so that's actually a bit of a buff. It looks like Luke Skywalker for Battle of Yavin went down by 1 point, which is, I don't know. Thought he was just as good, so that's kind of weird. I don't know. Thane Kyrell, just like Corn Horn, he's down by one squad point, but he's got a lot of nerfs. He went from 14 points to 8, and instead of a torpedo, he's got a missile as well. So both Thane Kyrell and Corn Horn have been nerfed a little bit. That 4 X-Wing Rebel 5 Initiative torpedo list I was talking about is just pretty much gone now. You can have 5 X-Wings pretty easily though. Thane Kyrell, Corn Horn, Garvin, Battle of Yavin, Jack Porkins, Battle of Yavin, and what is it? Kelby Super Auto with an illicit and an EPT, like I guess Crack Shot and a 3-point illicit. That seems like a pretty good list to be honest, because Jack and Garvin go for the damage of advanced proton torpedoes, and I guess Corrin and Thane Kyrell as well, because they just both give proton rockets. That's a lot of dice from X-Wings. That'll be interesting to see. Okay, Wedge Antilles, a lot of changes. So every single one of his versions, the new version that's coming out, and his old version, and the version from Battle of Yavin are all 5 squad points now. And Wedge with the not new Wedge. Sorry, there we go. Not new Wedge, but old Wedge with the loadout value. His loadout value has been reduced from 18 to 9. His upgrade bar is still exactly the same, so you can take plasma torpedoes and an astromech, which still hits pretty good. You just can't take proton and swarm tactics. So losing 1 point's great, but the value in the bar the value is definitely going to hit him a little bit hard, because you can't even take swarm tactics and plasma torpedoes. So the current wedge strategies have been nerfed. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Okay, in West Jansen, the only change he's had, he's still the same cost in both areas. His torpedo got replaced to a missile. So yeah, I don't think AMG saw their decision as adding 2 whole new X-Wing 5 initiative pilots with really strong pilot abilities, with really good loadout values, with decent cost, and giving them torpedoes was a good idea. I think they're taking that back. So interesting. Okay, for the Thailand fighter, the Rebels finally have a 2-point pilot again. It's Sabine Wren, and she has 3-point loadout with an EPT and a modification. Interestingly enough, she was the only TIE fighter pilot for the Rebels to have a missile slot. So I don't know how I feel about them reducing her cost. I like that, but we're getting rid of her ability to take missiles and also just even field them with point-wise is kind of interesting. She can't even take crack shocks. Remember, that's 4 points now. So Predator, I guess, is her only option. A little bit sad there, I guess. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. 2 points, that's pretty cool, though. I guess you can just kind of fit her into squads, but seeing as how many Rebel pilots are now only 4 squad points, like, we have the X-Wings, we got the B-Wings, we got the Y-Wings, we got the... What was the other ships? The A-Wings. A lot of the A-Wings are only 4 points, and they're really nice now. The Fang fighters are only 4 points as well, so... Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Rebels are really going to need a 2-point pilot, but maybe they will. We'll see. Okay, where were we? U-Wings, no changes. Interesting. The VCX Freighter. Kanan's 7 points now, which is a 1-point decrease from his 8. Chopper is 6 points. I believe that is either a 1-point... I believe it's a 1-point decrease, maybe a 1-point increase. Or he just lost some of his loadout value. Either way, cool. And Hera Syndulla is still banned, which is unfortunate, but how the game goes, I guess. Okay, for the YT 2400, nothing's changed yet because the new version of the ship hasn't come out yet, so they're keeping that information from us. They are releasing some of the TIE Bomber information, but they're keeping this from us, so that's interesting. Okay, for the Z9500ers, Aaron Kraken is now 4 squad points instead of 3, and his loadout is 11. So they're making it a little bit more risky to run him, because obviously he's only a 4-hit ship. So 4 squad points is really risky, especially with just how many other 4-point ships are now in the game for Rebels. And on top of that, it's not even enough loadout points to run a proton torpedo. Yeah, they're definitely trying to get him out of the game. Lieutenant Blount, however, I believe just got an increase in his loadout value. So shield upgrade Predator. Doesn't seem too bad. That's 5 hit points for 3 costs. I guess Lieutenant Blount or Wedge are good 3-point pilots now. So yeah, that's cool. Okay, going to Scum and Villainy. Scum and Villainy has a few buffs here, so no changes for the Aggressor Assault Fighter. But for the Y-Wing, quite a few changes actually. So Arliz Hadrezian is 3 points, 10 to loadout value, so ion cannon and a proton bomb, or ion cannon, a concussion bomb. Both options really good. Lima Kai, I believe the one that likes bombs, is 3 loadout value with only 8 points. So seismic charges and ion cannon. So yeah, Arla's good change. I believe he's the Y-Wing that changes eyeballs to crits when he's damaged. So interesting. Okay, so the big change here though is Dree, Renthal, and Cavill have gone down from 5 squad points to only 4. Dree can run ion cannon, bomb. I think it's probably just what she'll want to run. Generics are kind of not in the game, so that part of her ability is not great. And Cavill just gets the extra attack die when he's rolling a turret, so 7 points is enough to run either a dorsal with a bomb or an ion cannon turret with an EPT or astromech, so he's fine. Overall, pretty cool stuff. Oh yeah, Lima Kai is the 5 initiative Y-Wing. Okay, so yeah, that's actually a pretty hefty nerf to him because he definitely liked torpedoes. He can still take plasma torpedo though, so he's not out of the game. Doesn't have an EPT slot anymore. That's kind of weird. Okay, so actually pretty decent. Lima Kai is 5 initiative. If he's not in a ship's like 180-degree full arc, he gets to do a target lock on him, I think, after doing a barrel roll. So yeah, that's actually really good because all he really needs is plasma torpedoes to strip shields and do damage. So that's actually pretty strong for the Y-Wings. They've got some good options now for 5 Y-Wing lists. Dree, Cavill, Patriot, both of these guys, and a 2-point pilot, which is the autopilot drone, or actually a new option, which we'll see later. So 5 Y-Wings and a 2-point ship, pretty good, or just 2 3-point Y-Wings in your list. And these guys actually have a good loadout value, unlike the Rebel ones, so I think that's great. Hey, Lee Mackay has a good loadout because he only wants plasma torpedoes, that's his ability. Anyways, the YT-1300 Light Fighter, Han Solo is still 6 squad points, all the other pilots are only 5, which I think is good. And all their loadouts have also been reduced, so they're definitely giving us more options to fly, but they're reducing the cost at the same time. Overall, pretty good. I don't think it changes that much, though. I don't really think you want these guys over other 5-point options in Scum, but that's okay. No changes for the escape craft. And for the Fang Fighter, you already see quite a few good changes. Oh, wait. So, Mandalorian Royal Guard is only 4 squad points now with a 7-point loadout. You have 2 modifications, a missile and an APT. I believe that's the same. So, essentially, Beskar reinforced plating, Mandalorian optics, clan training, and that's just a really good Fang Fighter for Royal Guard. Yeah. Fenrir's only 6 points finally. Been waiting for that forever. Never thought they'd do it, but they finally did it. 12 points. So, Fearlessness, Beskar reinforced plating, and Mandalorian optics. Really nice. And I guess you got another 3 points, so clan training or predator. So that's pretty cool. Joy Recop, 4 squad points. He's the guy that likes to spin torpedo charges to remove defense dice. So ion torpedoes and Beskar or Mandalorian optics, or just a EPT upgrade. So that's pretty cool. He's only 4 squad points though. Going down here, Cad Solus is the one that does a red maneuver, gets 2 focus tokens, only 4 squad points, 8-point loadout value. Tor Fun is the new Fang Fighter. He's still the same. I believe he went from 7-point loadout to 11, which is good. He kind of needed that buff. Old Tarok went from 6 squad points to 5 with a 10-point loadout value. School Squadron Pilot and Zealous Recruit both went down to 4 squad points. I really love these changes. I don't play Scum. My friend does though, and it's been really a nightmare for him to play Fang Fighters because they're just so expensive and they can die actually pretty easily. So now they're finally in an area of cost where I think they're effective to run for Scum, and that's just super cool. Because they are good ships, but now they're just, yeah, they're just cool. I really like that. Okay, Boba Fett, still 9 points, still got an 18-point loadout value, but he's now available for standard play again. So you can now play Boba Fett with the better Fang Fighters. I guess Boba Fett with Mandalorian Royal Guards would be really disgusting because they're going to be really good with their upgrades. After this, points change, and you can run 2 of them with Boba Fett, and you still have 3 points, so you can run your Lima Kai Plasma Torpedo guy. That seems like a really good list. So good to see this comes finally getting some good stuff. They're getting some love. Okay, Maul's 8 squad points. I don't know if that's an increase or a decrease. I don't know if Rook Cast was increased or decreased either, or if they just lost loadout value. I don't know about this. Let me know in the comments if this is a buff or a nerf. I imagine it's a slight nerf because they probably just adjusted these 2 numbers, not these numbers. So yeah. Okay, Hawk Fighters. I think they all got nerfed a little bit. So Dace was 3 points, Gamut was 3 points, and Kanan was 3 points. Now they're all 4. I'm pretty sure Gamut was 3. I don't remember exactly. All their loadout values, I think, are the same or increased. I don't remember. Tuxo, Torkel Mux. Couldn't say that. He is what? 5 squad points. I think that's a 1-point decrease. And he has 8 points. So they decrease his loadout and they decrease his cost, which is alright, par for the course, it seems, in this points update. So pretty cool. He's the one that strips tokens, so it's good to see that he's coming back, but not as strong, because the 8 points, can't really do that much with him. So he doesn't even have the talent option, and I believe the talent option is like 12 points. So okay, for the Jump Master, Dengar's only 6 squad points. I think he was 7 before. He's got 11 points, so that's a great change. Yeah, he might be back. Not sure, but probably. No changes for the Curex fighters, though to be honest, I think these points actually look pretty good. I don't know why I've not been seeing... Oh, they're not available for tournament. Okay, that's why. Okay, coming down. Okay, M3 Interceptor. A lot of changes that are good. So Gogar is 3 points. Is 3 points now. I believe he was 4 before, so that's great. And Aldra is 3 points, which is great. Latina Ashira is 3 points. Quinjas is 3. Sunny Bounder is 3. Tarasu and Genesis Red are still 4 squad points, but I believe their loadouts are still 14 and 12. I don't actually know what the buff is with them. Maybe they're just highlighted for no reason, I guess. I don't know. It looks like Sarasu can take synced laser cannons now because her hardpoint upgrade adds a cannon. So that's actually really good. Sarasu got a pretty good buff here. Not sure about Genesis. I guess he got an illicit slot, which is cool. Overall, though, really nice for the for the M3 interceptors. Forgot their name for a second. Good buff for Sarasu. All the other pilots have finally been decreased to where they're actually effective to run because they are very fragile. And they're the same hit points as First Order TIE Fighters, and First Order TIE Fighters were cheaper than them, and they had better abilities. So they're finally where I think they're good to be played and put on the table, which is good. Okay, for the modified TIE Fighter, nothing changed except for Captain Seavor. The best pilot in the ship for Scum is now only 3 squad points, and he's got 7 points loadout. So he's back, baby. He's gonna cause us more jam tokens. I guess you can add him instead of Lima Kai to that Boba Fett double Fang Fighter list. That'll be really good. Okay, nice change for the Rogue class Starfighter. All of the pilots are only 4 squad points now, kind of following in Dirge's footsteps. They have decreased loadouts, but I think that's fine. Personally, I think 18, 19 points was just really excessive. So I think this is a lot better. Sync laser cannons, and you got 5 points left on Victor and Nam Lum. On Cad Bane, you've got 7 more points. So overall, I really like this change a lot. This is good. At 4 squad points each, it makes me actually want to buy the pack now and run them if I did play Scum. That's cool. And of course, the generic is only 4 squad points, but we don't care about him because his loadout is essentially garbage. ST-70 Assault Ship, interesting change. Mandalorian's only 6 squad points now, but he only has 10 points. So that's actually a pretty big nerf. You can't run the Child, Notorious, and all the other good upgrades on him anymore. You can only choose the Child and a 3-point upgrade, or Notorious and an illicit slot. So yeah, unfortunate, but I guess it's cool that he's only 6 points now, so that's good. I guess it's more of a nerf, because Mandalorian I think was okay before, so I guess they didn't want him to be as good, but they also don't want him to be out of the game. Yeah, I think that's okay. Okay, for the similar thing here for Bosk, he's 6 squad points with 16 line of value, which is fine. That's still enough points to do a lot of good stuff. Lats Razzie is 6 squad points with 22 points, so obviously Dr. Afera was going to be better than her with more points. And a slightly... I guess that's not a slightly a better ability. Both their abilities are pretty much the same. So it's cool to see Let's Razzie kind of get back her... Try to get it back, I guess. We'll see if she becomes better than Dr. Afera, but I doubt it. I think they're both just going to be the same. Probably best to run all 3 of these together. Alright. Aurora Ral is still 7 points, which I think is too expensive, but we're getting somewhere. Anyways, Bosk and the Z9500 is now 3 squad points. He did lose the ability to take proton rockets and marksmanship, but at 2 squad points, I think that's better for him. Marksmanship, expert handling is really good. At 4 initiative, that's great for a 2-point pilot, so that's cool. None of the other Z95s have any changes. Adrush Salak is still got Diamond Boron missile capability, so that's cool. And Nashta Pup is no changes, just 2 squad. Oh, he's 2 squad points now. He went up from by 1. So I guess you don't want these guys to respawn faster. So I guess that's a good change. Okay, next up we're going to the First Order. These guys also have, just like all the other factions we've seen so far, a lot of changes. And that is why this points update is very interesting. So, firstly, Major Von Reg is only 5 squad points now. Went from 6 to 5, which is insane, just like Sunterfell. And his loadout value only went down by 2 points, just like Sunterfell, which is 14. the upgrades Von Reg liked to take were what? Daredevil, Detrium Power Cells, and I think it was like 6 more points of whatever you wanted. I think I usually just ran Prime Thrusters, Daredevil, and Shield Upgrade, just because those 3 combine really well. But obviously Daredevil's 5 points now, so he's only got 9 points after equipping that upgrade. So 8-point Shield Upgrade with a 1-point EPT, or Prime Thrusters with Predator, or Detrium Power Cell with Predator. So yeah, his options are just becoming more and more limited, I guess, as these point updates go on. But he's only 5 squad points now, so I actually really like that a lot. Because he still has upgrade capability and can still get the upgrades he wants. He just has to make even more decisions, which will be interesting. And First Order Propagator is finally only 4 squad points. This is something I've wanted ever since he was at 5. Way too expensive at 5 squad points. 4 is perfect. He just needs a little bit higher loadout value now, because 3 is not the best, and I think Special Forces ties are better. And there's a lot of good 3-point options that I think do him better. So he still needs more points for his loadout value, but they're getting there. They're getting there. Okay, biggest change for the TIE Fighters is Midnight. For the First Order TIE Fighters, is Midnight is only 3 squad points, but she only has a loadout value of 7. As a First Order player that's been playing her a lot recently, I don't really like this. I liked being able to take Juke and a missile and another upgrade on top of that. Now I can only take a missile or Juke or another upgrade, so it's weird. She doesn't have the missile slot anymore, so I guess that was the reason why. I honestly just would have preferred to have just dropped the missile on her, because I think my main loadout that I liked on her was Proud Tradition, Pattern Analyzer, and Juke, because you do red maneuver, and you get a focus and a target lock, and then next turn you do blue straight and get your evade. So it cuts down the turns you need to do evade and target lock. Well, it doesn't cut them down, but it gives you a focus on those turns so you don't die. Yeah, I don't know. Only 3 squad points, but yeah, I don't know. That's kind of sketchy to me. So Scorch and DT, obviously we're gonna get a drop in their loadout value because they were a little bit too good at 8 points. Shield upgrade on a TIE fighter that can roll 3 attack dice is actually really good. Who knew? Pretty much X-Wings flying around now. So they can't take shield upgrade anymore, but you can definitely put Detrium Power Cells on them, or Crack Shot and Predator on Scorch, and something else on DT. So yeah, I think Detrium Power Cells is what you want on them now, which is probably just as good as shield upgrade. We'll see. That's pretty cool. Lieutenant Gallic's actually gone down by 1 point. I mean, I did fly him with Heavy Laser Cannon and Fanatical, and that was a pretty good combination. So I guess they're trying to nerf that maybe a little bit, because both those upgrades receive 1 point increases. Yeah, I guess that would make sense. Yeah, cool. I don't know why though. Maybe there's a different loadout. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, the TIE SE Bomber, 2 of their pilots, Dread and Scorch, are now only 3 squad points. And their loadouts did get reduced. Scorch went from 10 points to 7, and Dread went from 12 points to 8. This isn't terrible though, because they can still take concussion missiles and bomblet generator, which is pretty much what they already were just running with anyways, and the extra points were just upgrades. I guess Dread could have used to take proton torpedoes, but doesn't matter too much. He could take plasma, but he's only a 3 initiative, so he's probably shooting last, especially since most First Order pilots have higher than 3 initiative. So, yeah. I think this is really good though. Concussion missiles plus bomblet generator on First Order TIE SE bombers are pretty good, because they can just boost around, drop the bombs where they want them, and then do maneuvers. Because if you take Dread, Scorch, and Grudge all with bomblet generators and concussion missiles, that's a lot of dice with rerolls on the bombs, and that's only 10 squad points. So you could then take Jewel Jedrod with DT and Scorch, or Midnight. So yeah, First Order's got a lot of options now. Nice change for Scorch, you kind of needed that to be honest, and Dread also, because they were both the least played bomber pilots. So cool to see they're getting some love, even if it does break the faction and making them overpowered. Yeah, I mean, all factions are getting overpowered stuff, so I guess this is cool, but from what I've seen so far, First Order seems to be getting a bit more overpowered stuff, with their aces getting a little bit better. You'll see the other aces, because they also get reduced too. Okay, Quick Draw finally gets the buff we wanted her to get. She's only 5 squad points finally. But in the face of all the other aces becoming 5 squad points, doesn't exactly matter too much, I guess. I don't know. She has 12-point loadout value, which when you combine that with the Freeze Special Forces Gunner, just means that I think her loadout value used to be oh my god, it was 25 points before they did this points update, wasn't it? Okay, so she lost 13 points. She lost 13 useless points because all you need on her is Detrian Power Cells and Predator, and that's 9 points. So you still have 3 points to work with: Fire Control System and Marksmanship or Fanatical. So yeah, she's really good for 5 squad points now. She's basically the same as she was before, so that's really nice. Lieutenant Lee House went from 5 squad points to 4, which is good. He has a pretty good pilot ability, and he's got a good initiative. He spins your friendly's target locks when they don't use them, which is nice. But it's a very situational ability, not one that I would pay for 5 squad points, to be honest, especially not now, with Von Reg being 5. But at 4 squad points, I definitely think I might take him, not over Jewel, because I like her more with the torpedo, but definitely after Jewel. Maybe before, though, to be honest, because that is pretty nice. He's got 7 points. Obviously, Special Force Gunner is free, so Detrian Power Cell, 1 point EPT. Captain Phasma, also 4 squad points, 6 point loadout, free Special Forces Gunner, Detrian Power Cells. Backdraft, 4 squad points, only 5 point loadout value though, so I don't know what you're going to do with him after Special Forces. I guess Passive Sensors, that seems pretty good on him. And Omega Squadron Expert, same price at 4 squad points, but only 3 point loadout. Obviously, I think they were attacking the missile lists. Zeta Squadron Survivor is exactly the same, which I like, because now he actually has a competitive advantage over the Omega Squadron Expert. Alright, TIE Silencers have a lot of interesting changes. Kylo Ren's loadout value was increased. He's still 7 squad points, but he now has 22 points instead of 16. Okay, Rush got increased to 11 points from 7. Recoil was increased from 6 to 10. Avenger was increased from 8 to 10, and Blackout was decreased from 5 squad points to 6, and his loadout value was decreased by, I think, 6 points. I think it went from 18 to 12. Overall, a lot of good changes. Not sure. I mean, the other TIE Silencer pilots, nice to get them more points. Doesn't really matter too big, though. I think Rush is really the only one that might matter that much. Fanatical, Prime Thrusters, Predator, I guess. But Blackout, that's a really good, that's a really awesome change. He was good before, but now he's really good at 5 squad points. That's really strong. He's got some good upgrade options still too, so that's just better. So you can, because you can do like plasma torpedoes, trick shot, and I guess you don't have any 3-point options on him, but you get the idea. You can do quite a bit on him. Yeah, overall, I think I like that change. Blackout only at 5 squad points. Not like he was struggling, but he wasn't being played either, so I guess that's good. For the TIE Whisper, Kylo Ren went from 6 squad points to 5, and he's only got 14-point loadout. I wasn't personally that big of a fan of the TIE Whisper's stats. I know Whirlwind looked fun, but kind of needed a higher initiative to give him the shot first, otherwise he kind of just died before he gained the pile of focus tokens. Nightfall's good just because he runs through people and gives them jam tokens. Yeah, Nightfall was good. But Kylo Ren also is really good in this ship, so another change that kind of didn't need to happen, just like Von Reg, but overall will work out well. And seeing as how all the point nerfs, like he's lost 2-point loadout value, and Extreme Maneuvers, the upgrade he really liked, and Hate, I think he also really liked that upgrade, both got increased, so it's going to be a bit harder to run him. Like I think Detrian Power Cells and Extreme Maneuvers takes up all your points, so you're gonna have to work around that. No changes with any of the shuttles. I was expecting they would reduce Turney's cost, but I guess they haven't yet. Maybe she's doing really well, and people are actually playing her. I don't know. I kind of would just prefer one of the 4-point options, but you know, 5 points. Sure, ability is decent. Actually pretty good, but I don't know. It seems expensive playing her. So overall, for First Order, good changes. I guess you should do faction recaps. Scum, back in the meta. Empire, more in the meta. Rebels, being mixed around a lot. Kind of uncertain where they're at. First Order, even better stuff, so people still aren't playing them, except for me. But that seems really good. So I like that. Kylo Ren, Blackout, Quick Draw and Vonreg all in one squadron. I don't know, Breach is really good though. Might want to replace one of them with Breach, but yeah, that seems like a really good list. Okay, for the Resistance, also a lot of really good stuff, mainly for their Y-Wing. So obviously we saw Wartime loadout's only 2 points now, which gives them all the good upgrades. So all of these pilots are good now. Zori got a reduced loadout value, which is sad, so she can only take advanced proton torpedoes or plasma torpedoes. That's still an option, and that's actually a really good option on her. Probably the best option, actually. Only 4 squad points. I believe she got reduced by 1, so that's okay. I guess plasma torpedoes, wartime loadout, only 4 points. That's actually pretty good, actually. Increased loadout value for her, I think. All 3 of these guys got reduced loadout values, but reduced squad point values at the same time. So that seems pretty good. Especially since you can give them ion cannon turrets, and in this case, Sasha Zaro, you can give her a bomb on top of that. So that might be good. Overall, some good changes though. All the pilots that are 4 squad points, like Aftab, Kai, Tezza, Wilsa, and Zori, that's 5 Y-Wings with torpedoes. In wartime loadouts, not proton, but plasma, but that's still good. I think that's still good. So, yeah, very exciting to see what the Y-Wings will do. Okay, for the Mega Star Fortresses, they're still not available in the tournament, which I don't understand, but they all got reduced costs by 1 squad point, so that's cool. They're either 6 points or 5 points, and I believe their loadouts are still the same, so that's a pretty cool change. Good to see they're coming back as well. Resistance Transport Pod, Rose is only 3 squad points, but Finn is now 4, which makes sense. I think Finn was doing a lot of damage, so he's up. Rose is down, or is Rose up? I don't know, actually. That's a good question. This guy down here is still banned. BB-8's still 2 points, so I guess BB-8's still doing good, and they are okay with that, which is cool. Resistance does need a little bit of help. Okay, A-Wings, ZZ Tulo committed to the cause. I forget what she does. I think she's the one that gets a focus or evade after she performs an attack. I think she was 5 squad points before and she's still 5, or she was 4 and now she's 5. I guess her going lower was bad, so they bumped her back up. Her loadout value is pretty good. I don't know if this is a nerf or a buff or just a neutral. Most of the A-Wing pilots are only 4 squad points now, except for Merle and Robbie. They're both 3. So yeah, I think they're doing okay at that squad range, because they're not terribly great, but they're not terribly bad either. Okay, Scavenged YT 1300, the Scavenged Millennium Falcon. Chewbacca is 6 squad points. I think he just got an increased loadout value, I'm pretty sure. Lando is 7. Believe he got Lando and Rey both got decreased from 8 to 7, which is good. I think their loadouts are either the same or slightly increased. And Poe has also a slightly increased loadout value, I'm pretty sure. So, really cool. Okay, Millennium Falcons are maybe back? I don't know. T-70 X-Wings, though, have a lot changes, and this is not even the full page. There's a whole other page down here. So, as you can see, pretty much every single pilot, with the exception of like 1 or 2, are, well, I guess 3 in this page, are only 4 squad points. And all the pilots that are 5 squad points can now run their proton torpedoes again. So Lieutenant Bastion is back, baby. He's got proton torpedoes back. Nang Nub, I don't know, I think he only had 12 points before, or 11, so this is great. Joseph Sea Striker, I forgot what he does, but he's got 13 points. All the other pilots are 4 squad points. So Jessica Pave, the one that gets rerolls at range 1. Elo Asti, the one that treats town rolls as whites. Kai, the one that moves through people and gets evade tokens. Jake Reese Tubbs, the one that no one plays. Garrett Kunn, the one that gets 1 heart boosts, I believe. Nimi Shireen, the one that changes blanks to eyeballs. I have no idea why she's 4 squad points, but she is. Give her a shield upgrade and an automated tag rating priority. Let's make the devs cry. Poe Damerons are still the same. Both Tim and Wexley's have have been reduced in costs, and so has Jade Leader, the one that was recently introduced. She launches missiles and torpedoes behind her, so I guess she wasn't doing too well because she's only 4 squad points now. But On the bright side, you can take plasma still or diamond boron missiles and still launch them behind you because you have 7 points. So heroic and one of those 5-point upgrades. So she's still good. Better probably because she's cheaper. And Temin, the one that gets a boost after he does a maneuver, he's cheaper, lost some of his low value, but I don't know what, honestly, I don't even think he was in the game. So now he's in the game again. And the snap that was like really good in 4 X-Wing squads is finally back from 6 points. He's got 13-point loadout value, so give him a proton torpedo, throw 3 or 4, I don't know, honestly. Is it better to do, I guess it's better to do 9 Nub, Lieutenant Bastion, and Sea Striker, because they have points to throw proton torpedoes as well. Or you can use just a bunch of 4-point X-Wings. I don't know, it seems interesting. So T-70 X-Wings are back. Either run 5 of them, or 4 of them with Temin. Yeah, that's great. That's a good change. I really like that. It is going to be scary running against 5 T-70s because they are very good, but I'm sure we'll handle it. Okay, for the Republic, there's a lot of interesting changes. We're going to start with the ARC 170. They're back, baby. They are back. Every single ARC is now 4 or 5 points. The generics are still 5 points. The 2 standardized loadout ones are 4 points still. Wolfie, when you give him upgrades, is 4 points. Oddball's coming out, and in the Siege of Coruscant, Oddball's now 4 points. That's good. Oddball with upgrade, Oddball with options of upgrades is 4 points. You get the idea. Everyone's 4 points except for Sinker. He's still 5. But the disadvantage, like I said, is that none of them can run 7 Fleet Gunner because they either have 9, 7, or 9 points. Sinker can run 7 Fleet as he's at 15 points. That's kind of expensive for a 5-point ship though. But it could work out. Gives you rerolls. The Y-Wings got a lot of changes. Good changes. Broadside, Matchstick, and R2-D2 are all 3 squad points. And unlike the Rebel Y-Wings, they can run Ion Cannon Turret and Concussion Bombs. Which is really good. And R2-D2 is pretty decent. He's got a... He gets calculated to the focuses, which is terrible, but he gets an extra calculate if someone's right behind him, which maybe never happens. Matchstick gets rerolls if he has red tokens, so you could use that barrel roll pretty effectively. And he's also 4 initiative, which is great. Broadside, of course, is really good. I don't know why he's still not 4 squad points, because he would be better there at 4 squad points with a reduced loadout value. But instead, they reduced his loadout value from 13 to 10, and then just reduced him by 1 squad point. So that seems really good, because all he needs is Ion Cannon Turret and a bomb. He's still going to have that. So yeah, this is kind of overpowered. 9 points of Y-Wings that can just ion you and drop bombs on you is really strong, because you can still take 2 Jedis. Yeah, that seems a little bit too good. But we'll see how it works out. Joji's got an increased loadout value, and so did Oddball, which I think is cool. I think Anakin also got an increased loadout value. I don't think you would ever take Anakin in the Y-Wing, but Oddball, you know, you can take Proton Torpedo and Plasma Torpedo. It seems excessive, but I don't know, you can do whatever you want. Or, I guess better option would be 7 Fleet Gunner and Plasma Torpedoes, actually. That actually probably seems kind of overpowered. Yeah, because you give someone else an extra attack die, and he launches a Plasma Torpedo to strip shields. He's 5 initiative, and he's only 4 squad points. Okay, that's the new meta. Joji, it's cool, I guess. We'll see how that works out. But yeah, 9 points for 3 Y-Wings with Ion Cannon Turrets and Bombs is really strong. Okay, so the clone Z9500ers have some interesting changes. So we're seeing that Slider and Boost are both reduced by 1 squad point, and their loadout values are basically dropped to, yeah, just kind of bad. They got reduced from 8 to 3. Not as bad for Boost, because Boost really only wanted to use Proton Rockets, and that's a 1-turn use card anyways. So now you just kind of give him marksmanship and expert handling. He does what he does best and boosts and not dies if you play him well. Does objective control and shoots at range 1 and tries to get some damage off. Slider, a bit more of a nerf for him. He slides around with his side slip ability, but yeah, I don't know. That's kind of a nerf for him. He's going to be hurt more than Boost. Nice that they're only 2 squad points though. That's really cheap. What, like 3 3-point Y-Wings with Boost is 11 squad points. You can have a 4-point Jedi and a 5-point Jedi. That's really good. Oh my god. boost with 2 Jedis with 3 Y-Wings that do ion cannon control and drop bombs. I think Republic might be broken now. Yeah, because look, down here, Adi Gali is a really good pilot, and so is Ahsoka. There you go, you have your 2 Jedis. Oh my god. It's gonna be such a... Okay. Anyways, the rest of the Z95 pilots all get buffs, though, of course, because the Plasma Torpedoes are only 5 squad points now. So, Plasma Torpedo, Synchronized Console, Fire Control System, or Plasma Torpedo dedicated. So, yeah, there you go. They're all better, because they all have Plasma Torpedoes now, not just Killer and Warthog. Yeah, that's going to be kind of scary to run against Z95s now, like I said earlier. But yeah, not as bad because Slider is kind of nerfed and Boost isn't as good. So yeah. Okay, Jedi Fighters, no changes in the Delta 7 Aether Sprite base. The one that has 3 hull, 1 shield, except for Plo, he's down by 1 point or up by 1 point. I don't know. Yeah, so, I mean, he's 5 points, and so is Addy, and they're both good. So, there you go. Got the 3 Y-Wings in one of them. For the Delta 7B Aether Sprite, the one that rolls 3 attack dice and has 6 hit points, all these pilots are still pretty expensive except for Mace. He's only 5 points, which is pretty cheap. You could throw him in there. And Plo is 7, so I guess he got increased a little bit. For the 82 Attackus, Aayla Secura is still 5 points, but she is a pilot. Like I said, that list is just gonna be ridiculous because there's so many options. But anyways, Anakin got reduced in both forms. 4 points for the standard versions, 5 for the non-standard, which is cool. Kind of in a fragiler ship with a decent ability in both, but not great ability. Kit Fisto is still 4 squad points, but I think he got an increased loadout value, which is cool. I don't think anyone's gonna play him still. Shock T, 4 squad points, 10 points. And Yoda, 4 squad points, 12 points. So increased loadouts again, trying to kind of usurp Obi-Wan over here. So yeah, I don't know. That's cool. The Gauntlet Fighter for the Republic, I believe this loadout value was decreased or increased, and this loadout value, I think, was decreased, and so was the squad point though, which is not bad at all. So yeah, pretty cool. I think the lower cost for Bo-Katan will work quite well. Okay, next up we have the Republic gunship. Hawk is now 6 squad points. He got increased from 5 to 6. Not the biggest fan of that change. He does have 25 point loadout though, which is good, but it's more than Hound, which works, I guess. I don't know. It's another expensive gunship's just, I don't know. I don't think it's what they need, but maybe Hawk's overperforming. I guess that would explain it. I guess next Sicko will be 6 points soon. We'll see. For the Naboo fighter, the only change here is Padme and Rick are both now 4 squad points. Padme having 18 loadout and Rick having 12. There's some good loadout combinations for them. Not too much has changed there. The V-Wing, Contrail, and Click in their Siege of Coruscant are now 4 squad points each. And Audible is now 3 with only 9 points. But Oddball can take plasma torpedoes, so it doesn't really affect him too much. Makes him better. And Axe from the Siege of Coruscant is now down to 3 squad points from 4, which is good. Oh yeah, and Audible used to be 4. He had a higher load, I think he had 12, but I think this is better for him. And yeah, so overall, good there. Alright, final faction, we have the Separatist Alliance. Captain Seer, General Grievous, and Wat Tambar only received loadout changes. Wat Tambar got 2 extra points, so he can take Impervium Plating. That's new prize. General Grievous lost 1 point, so he can't take Outmaneuver anymore. Which I guess doesn't matter because he needs the extra points to take Impervious anyways. So yeah, he's going to be in a bit of a hard spot getting upgrades now. And Captain Seer also just got 2 extra points just to kind of counteract the Impervium up end points. Droid Tri-Fighters are good now. Pretty much all the pilots are 3 points except for the Siege of Coruscant, DSI, T-81. That's going to go down from 5 squad points to 4. Roland Das is staying at 4. The Filiac Afrock prototypes are staying at 4. And yeah, everyone else is 3 squad points. Lower loadout values, but I think this is better. We're going to see how good 6 Tri-Fighters with 1 Vulture Droid can be. They can take Crackshot. Well, I guess the Conclave Interceptors can at 1 initiative. So that might be scary, but we'll see exactly what happens there. That's interesting. Fearsome Predators are also 3 points. The band Filiafax are... yeah, they're all 3 points, so good, but also pretty scary to see how well they do. Okay, for the Fire Spray, Jango Fett is now 8, Zam Wessel's 8, and Era Seeing is 7. So his Era went down. I think Django's the same, and Zam went down. So pretty cool. Not too many changes there. Loadouts are, I think, the same for Django. Zam went down a little bit, and Era went down by quite a bit. Gauntlet Fighter, pretty much the same changes we've been seeing overall. Deathwatch Warrior, only he's got a pretty low loadout. Pre-Vizsla and Bojican Kreese, reduced loadouts, but reduced squad points, so good overall. Okay, the crazy stuff is the HMP droid gunship. Every single pilot is either 4 points or 3 points. In the loadouts, I think the lowest one is 7, which is still good. You can take multi-missile pods and seismic charges, and droid gunships don't like asteroids, so that works pretty good. I mean obstacles, sorry, but yeah, this is gonna be interesting because even this guy right down here is also 4 squad points, so you can run 5 of them in a list now, or 5 of them in a vulture droid. So it's gonna be very scary because we all know how good they are. So yeah, we'll see how that works. Every faction has something overpowered now. Nantech Starfighter, Churtik, and Soonfak each went down a point and lost a little bit of loadout value. Which is fine, good trade-off. Rogue Class Starfighter, everyone is only 4 points now, which is good. Their loadouts have also been reduced a little bit, but to be honest, they're still good. Like synced laser cannon, and that doesn't even like reduce the loadout by that much, to be honest. So that's good. Rogue Fighters are good for Separatists now that they're cheaper, but with everything else being like 3 points or 4 points, but like, yeah, I don't know. They're good now, but everything else is just even better, so we'll see. Sith Infiltrator 066 is 5 squad points, which is very interesting. Got 12 points to his loadout, no tactical upgrade. So, yeah, interesting, only 5 points. And Darth Maul went down 1 squad point and lost a few upgrades for his loadout, which is fine. I think that's overall better for him. And no changes to the Vulture droids. So overall, with the points update, a lot of stuff changed. A lot of pilots that were overpowered are now just kind of like good, are all right. A lot of pilots that were great but not seen a whole lot are still great. They're cheaper, but they don't do as well, so it's very iffy. Yeah, I think in the aces department we'll have to see how it plays out, having cheaper aces, but they aren't as good. In the department of cheaper Y-Wings, cheaper bombers, and cheaper droid gunships, just basically cheaper ordnance ships, it's going to be interesting to see how that turns out, if that's too good. Some long-awaited changes, though. I think great for Scum. Good to see them back on the table. They're not overpowered, but they are back, which is great. I love that. So yeah, overall, probably the most interesting points update we've seen for X-Wing so far. Maybe even ever, to be honest. I don't think 5 droid gunships was even a thing when 200 points existed. I think it did, but they were just very terrible because they didn't have any upgrades. But now they got missiles, and they got a lot of them, and you can have a vulture droid if you price it correctly. So yeah, gonna be scary. We're gonna see how things go. Current metas, all the rebel ones are changed, or bigger lists. Imperial ones are gonna get better just because the bombers. Scum's back, so we have to play against them again. First Order's also gonna just get better. Resistance, I don't even think they were in the meta, so now they're back. And Separatists got their metas back, and Republic are in an interesting spot. I think they have multiple metas opened up to them, and their other metas aren't really changed, so they're probably the least affected. They just kind of have new options, I guess. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to end it out here since it's super long. And yeah, we will see you next time. May the Force be with you. Good luck, and get rock and rolling.